Hi guys, hello. Wait, let me fix this. I'm not doing over this video. Yes, quick share. I just decided that I needed to sit down and chat. It was guided. It was mostly guided. I think it was mostly guided because being a parent and an entrepreneur and fitting this new mission, well, not new mission, um, but fitting this part of my mission into the whole schedule seemed to be something that was impossible. But then I learned it was tied to my need to have something be perfect or to look and feel a particular way for it to be proved as right and good. So that was an awakening there for me, and I said, you know what, let me just set up with what I have currently. Some things are still over the place, but let me just set up. Currently, you would hear background noise, which is fine. It's just that the messages that have been downloaded, we're going to go into the history of the gift that I have uncovered within myself and that I'm here to share. We're going to go into that, but I just wanted to say that the messages were so frequent that it had to be and I'm liking it. Like, I like this. I like this, and it feels like there's no pressure because they're snuggled up on the couch, and I'm in the space, and there's no mic in my mouth where I have to try to always be between that and the camera. um Not that I'm not going to appreciate the mic, I would, because the quality is going to be better, but I'm just saying, well, where I'm at, I'm happy to be here, and this works. And if you are in a state in your life where you're waiting for something to be absolutely perfect or the environment to be conducive to that dream, then it's never gonna happen, because it is the dream and the initiation and the action that really starts transforming that environment, or making the environment conducive to the evolution of that idea or that action in which you're carrying out. So I wanted to drop that in. So, what I wanted to share today was just some insights on beliefs and perspective, and how it could be ruining, running, or rewarding your life, right? And my guides were sharing with me the other day, like, how we're made up, and we're such like a beautiful. This is a beautiful setup, right? I think that we oftentimes underestimate the beauty and the technology, that high technology that allows our bodies to function, like work of art. So in this moment, just be grateful, be appreciative of your vessel, your avatar, your body, whatever it is you call it. So we were chatting, and they were saying that our beliefs and our perspectives is grounded in our environment and our programming, and whatever projections that would have been unconsciously or consciously taken on by us from others. So, in this moment, I'm asking you to maybe just pick something that you believe, or look at where you at in your life currently, right? And think back last year. And has anything changed? And if anything has changed, has it been for the better, right? And if yes, for the better, we'll get back to the no. But if yes, for the better, look back at your patterns. What had to change there? Because there is always something that needs to tweak energetically in the habits or in the practices or in the beliefs to have something show up or to make something work or to allow this new flow into, our experiences. So that being said, if it's a no, right? I want you to now look at your patterns and look at what you're trying to achieve, the goal, and just evaluate the vibration of it. And what vibration means? Vibration simply means the energy or the feeling associated with the action, right? So if something is high vibrational, it's something that is going to bring out the best in the situation. That's high energy or good vibes, as we would say. If something is low vibrational, it's just the opposite of that, right? So just seek out the vibration of what it is you're trying to achieve, and the vibration seemingly of your patterns or where you're at currently in your life. And then when you do that, you're able now to see that there's a gap. So if it's a no, that means there is some sort of gap there, which means that adjustments need to be made. Now, with those adjustments, right, this is where divine guidance and intuition comes in. And my mission here is just to simply put or hold space so that you're able to tap into the higher version of you, or the God within you, or the light within you, or your intuition, right? We'll come to find out that it's all in one, the same. It's to put you in that place where you can now tap into that, because life has gotten so busy for everybody, and not many of us have the time to sit and meditate for an hour a day right through the week. So that's 7 hours total designated to calm in the mind and that sort of thing. The thing is that our programming has told us, or our programming doesn't support stillness, right? And because our programming does not support stillness, having access to tap into why it is you feel what you feel, or why it is something is triggering you in a particular way, you don't have time to fully process these things. And what has happened over time is that those feelings are just feelings on replay, and certain situations that would bring up those feelings is just going to be added to it. And energetically speaking, what happens is that the energy associated with that builds and builds and builds, right? And the only way to release or transmute that energy, right, is through active healing, right? Based on what has happened, or based on how you feel, going into the feeling, taking time to feel the feeling and not distract yourself from the feeling, right? So our beliefs and perspective are just rooted in those programming. The thing is, it's not our fault, or it isn't something bad. It's just something that we signed up for, because coming in, you would receive a lot of your programming genetically. So we carry as much as 6 generations on both mom and dad's side of programming, right? And that would mean their outlook, their habits, not just their eyes or their nose. They say, oh, your nose look like your great grandfather. It's not just that. You take on so much more. We take on parts and pieces of the energy, resolved and unresolved. And with that is the foundation. Now, there are ways in which now you can have access to tweaking a few things or changing a few things based on how you're feeling, right? But that can only come by studying the patterns that you're going through on the daily and deciding or figuring out if it's working or if it isn't. So what I would love for us to do now, right, with the assistance of my guides, we are going to go into maybe a relatable theory, right? And what I'm going to do is back it with a belief that is common to Caribbean people, right? And in light of our ancestors, right? I just want to say that a lot of the sayings that were passed on to us, it isn't that the saying was wrong or there was anything that wasn't factual about it, but the frequency in which something is delivered and received really does determine how it is used, viewed, and the effect it has on not just the person speaking it, but the receiver, especially the receiver, right? Because sometimes you've ever been like in a position by where you might have said something, right, all in good intention, and it wasn't received that way. Like we don't have control over how somebody receives something. What we have control over is how we present. But the journey continues when it is received in a way that wasn't intentional, right? And you have an opportunity now to reach out, connect on a deeper level with somebody else, right? Because if you offend somebody and that relationship or friendship is meaningful to you, there would be a conversation, and most times you realize, oh, it was a miscommunication, or maybe it is, I'm not aware of my tone, or maybe the person was just triggered because it would have taken them back to a time when that exact line was said to them. So what was brought across to you was not just your response, but was the response. Sometimes you get it like that. You get everything that was piled up, you end up getting it, and that's the thing about human interaction and our programming. It's about being in a space to hack that, to tweak these things, because responses can change, but it could only be changed if the space is created for that, right? So going on to beliefs and perspectives. So relatable theory would be, let's say you're going for a job, right? And over time, you would have realized a patterning, right? That you never get the job on the first try. I just never get a job for the first time. Whenever I go for an interview, it does never be that job. Maybe the next one or the next one. Now, whatever you speak is energy. Whatever you think and feel is energy. And let me not say think. Whatever frequency you're aligned to, once there's a feeling that matches that frequency, it decides a huge part of what you see, in your world, and the experiences that, you align with. So that being said, so you saying that to yourself for all the years you've been looking for a job, what that does is program within you the expectation that I'm not going to get this job on my first try. Now, on a belief level, that could be unconscious for some persons, right? And when I say unconscious, meaning that they could not tie not getting a job in the first try to a belief, but they could be in the frequency of being let down, of disappointment. And remember, in my previous video, I say that frequency. I explain that frequency or vibration is just the essence of something, right? So if somebody, oh, that person has good vibes, good essence, good energy, right? So that belief, that unconscious belief there could have just been something that was on a frequency level. They walking around in disappointment, in expecting the worst from people, and your expectations is only going to prove you right and right and right and right again. And that's the pattern. And as my guides are saying, for where humanity is heading, the patterns is what we're here to break. Okay? This is what we're here for. We are here to break the patterns, and the patterns are rooted in the beliefs, that core programming that many people are walking around and unconscious of, because the body has a response to our thoughts and experiences, right? So now going for this job, right? So if you're in this state of disappointment, or if you're in this state of, I just never get a job on my first try, either one, your experiences are going to prove that to you. And even if for some reason, right, let's say you would have met up with a good friend just before the interview. So you were in this, whoo, I feel good, good people are easy to find, that kind of thing, and you go in and you get that job. Eventually, because that belief is there, you would revert to that frequency, and in time maybe lose the job or self-sabotage and leave the job or something like that. So it's your belief about it, and remember that there's a frequency that's attached to each belief, right? Now, something that I want to back this whole theory with is, growing up, well, for me, there was a saying, don't count your chickens before they hatch. That was a fable, and it is a fable. It's a well-known, theme, or something people would always say. I don't know so much now if people still say that, but I know growing up that was a common saying, and they would read the stories over and over to us. So that, right, and don't count your chickens before they hatch. Now that could be one of the beliefs or the theme or the story associated with that belief about the jobs, or the belief of disappointment, or the belief of being in a state of non-expectation about your experience. Be mindful of the power of your words, and the power of your energy, and the power of sharing, and the power of somebody casting not so good energy in that basket, right? So don't count your chickens before they hatch would have left a lot of persons in that state of doubt when meeting something that's of second guessing. But what that was meant to do was to pull us into the journey of the hatching of the egg, right? The journey, is it 28 days or 27, 21? I'll have to double check that, right? That gestation period. But that period, during that period, something beautiful is happening, right? So don't count the chickens till they hatch, because there is this journey, right? And it's that journey that would determine how many chickens hatch and how many chickens don't hatch. So where our focus should be, and in the reprogramming, what we're doing is adjusting that belief of not anticipating the best results, not second guessing ourselves, or being in that state of doubt, right? But rather pulling the energy back and realizing that the amount of chickens that we get, right, the amount of eggs that hatch successfully is determined by that period, that gestation period, that journey, what you do on that journey, right? How well that mama chicken takes care of her babies, right? So I wanted to drop that in here to you, on beliefs and perspectives. And maybe this could be a seed planted for future when you sit down to evaluate, certain beliefs that you may have and how it is playing a role into the theme of your life. So leave a comment if you have questions, send a question. I'll be doing this more often. I am not going to wait for everything to be set up, because this is the time. This is a time of awakening. This is a time when humanity is coming into or have the option, I should say, to come into their power by firstly understanding their foundation, their programming, the energetics involved, to allow an efficient functioning of your avatar, your physical body, whatever it is you want to call this beautiful piece of technology that we have been blessed with. So have a good day. Wherever you're watching this, have a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.